On a Rail was an entry to our 5th Outer Wilds community mod jam, which adds, as the name suggests, a train in space. The theme this time was miniature, which this mod completely ignored, let's be real. However, this mod jam is also set in a shared solar system, with entrants adding their planets and stories in around a derelict central hub station, which this mod did make good use of, so there's that. Like always, if you'd rather play the mod for yourself, you can download it at the link in the description. We have a lot of warp cores that do nothing. And here we are, we're on a train, of course. The Stellar Express, with the Frost Car, the Locomotion, and the Spruce Caboose. And there is text. So NG says alright. Everything has been building up to this moment. Preparing to launch in 3, 2, 1. All systems are online. The engine has started. Full steam ahead. I've secured a stable orbit around this local system star. Now comes the challenging part. Yes, I've done it. All the planets are now following the train's orbit. I have successfully put a system on rails. I knew it could be done. I feel like this is like a bit of a reference to that's a cute touch that there's a horn. Bit of a reference to I guess the way that the game itself works, where... Oh, I thought this was like a window. I'm getting so distracted. So basically in Outer Wilds, instead of having the planets move along predetermined orbits, they dynamically simulate physics at every, game update. So yeah, if they were just being moved along in a circle, you could say that they are on rails. And there have been people talking about making mods that would put all the planets on rails, but no one has done it. I don't think it would be worth it. NG here seems to think it is worth it. At long last, my work has come to fruition. There are 2 things I need to take care of before it's truly complete. 1, I need to finish my work on the immense source of power for warp functionality. I'm going to prepare this at Locomotion's refinery. 2, the coordinates leading back to my clan's vessel need to be updated to their current position. I'll simply drop by the Spruce Caboose to find out where my clan is after I prepare the warp. My 2 weeks are almost up. I can't wait to see the looks on their faces when I show them what I've accomplished here. Very nice. Also 2 weeks. Is that a reference to the fact that this mod was made in 2 weeks? I'd say probably. Warning, a fuel leak has been detected in the main corridor. Running system diagnostics. Fuel reserves 98%, structural integrity 99.98%, engine status fully operational. The main corridor to the engine room has been sealed to prevent further breach of containment. Remember to wear adequate equipment when dealing with hazardous materials. Yeah, and that's ghost matter, so I can't go down there because I'll die. Okay, so NG said something about a refinery on Locomotion, which is the purple planet, and this glass is kind of bugged. And I did not mean to step on that warp pad. I wonder actually, do I want my ship? Well, it's too late now. Okay, the train looks so cool. Okay, I thought that maybe that would pull me downwards, but no, that is pushing upwards. I was hoping to be gently placed on the surface of this planet, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so this place is kind of hollow. That's a warp pad. Nope, that is a warp pad receiver. Which is good. That just means I have to find the transmitter. This is a really nicely made planet as well. It's like pretty clearly sort of reused assets from the Interloper, but put together in a unique way. I wonder if the transmitter is just going to be on a different planet. So I will go to Locomotion. Oh, is that... That's anglerfish. Are you gonna kill me? I gotta tell you, I hate that. I hate that a lot. Okay, there's a scroll, but we haven't actually seen any walls that we could put this in. Don't see any other islands. Do I want to go down in here? I guess I don't really have much else to go off of right now. Okay, they don't seem to go for me. Like, maybe if I bump into one, I'll die, but for now, it seems fine. Okay, and there is actually a wall here. Where's the refinery? Angie says, I hate being here. I hate being here. Yeah, me too. But I don't really have a choice. I can't spare any time for apprehension. Locomotion's the only place I can do this. I have scouted the waters and located the perfect spot to build a refinery, a spacious cavern. The fish here don't seem to be interested in it. I can at least have some sanctity within. Update. I have finished a cursory version of the refinery. I do need to be quick, after all. I don't know how much time I have before they come looking for me. The water has been pumped out, and I have installed an airlock that permits entry. Update number 2. I went ahead and sealed off the cavern completely. Sand kept getting in through the airlock, and it's less frustrating to just use some standard warp cores to get in and out. Even if the entrance I now have to use is slightly unorthodox. Energy also says I still need water to reduce the effects of ghost matter, but I don't need it completely dissipating. And over here they say I wish Spruce Caboose had a spacious spot, but I can't really refine ghost matter while being so close to the train. Right, so it's a ghost matter refinery, that's why it's contained under the water, I guess. Did I just hit you? Did you do anything? Why are you drifting sideways towards me? So yeah, going all the way around the planet, I don't see any other islands. And I might die. I still might die. Okay, I didn't die. Oh, finally. Is this, that is a fuel source. Thank you. That's a warp core. That's Frostcar projection stone. Angie says my suspicions were correct. That vessel is abandoned. No one's shown up, not that I mind. It's in my best interest that I remain alone. I've found some things they left behind, materials mostly. It's quite a boon. The less resources I have to gather, the faster I can get this done. I should note that I also found a couple of warp cores lying around. This is excellent because my first idea for getting to the other planets was just going to be flinging myself to them when the orbits align. Granted, I still first need to actually get to the planets to establish warp pads. Jumping is not entirely out of the question. Unfortunately, I only have one black hole warp core. If I had the time or the means to reach it, perhaps I could get more cores from the derelict vessel. They built this warp receiver on this planet after all. Perhaps I could fling myself there. No, that'd be ridiculous. Update. I'm going to deconstruct the warp receiver here and move it onto the train. For now it'll just lead to the vessel, not that I can get there anyways, but I'll eventually be able to make use of it. That's nice also that they acknowledge the sort of conceit of the jam, that there's this derelict vessel at the center. I've only played a few jam mods so far, but this is the only one that's done that. Okay, so I have a dead warp core and I have a projection stone. And this is like a dead warp pad. I can't imagine that putting this in there would do anything, and it doesn't. This should give me some new text. Angie says, I've finished setting up tractor beams on Spruce Caboose, Locomotion, and Frostcar. Once the train is complete, the beams will remain on indefinitely to keep the planets aligned and in tow. Of course, since they give away my presence quite easily, I will keep them off for now and enable them temporarily to move between the planets. Now that I've acquired the materials I need for construction, I'll make my way for Frostcar to get my limbs on ghost matter. The trick I've learned here should prove useful. Update, flinging myself to Frostcar will not suffice. Not even having a ship would help. No worries, I've implemented a solution to work around this. It seems that while the exterior of Frostcar is exposed to the vacuum of space, the ice tunnels beneath the sunward side appear to have some sort of atmosphere within. I'll make use of my warp pads to transport the ghost matter to Locomotion. As I only have one black hole warp core, I've constructed a warp receiver within Frostcar. Conveniently, the cores I'm using for these warp pads do not require an alignment window to function. Quite the time saver, but the question has to be asked, why hasn't anyone implemented this sooner? Alright, what are we looking at in here? So yeah, this is under the surface. I have already seen this. And she says I finally cleaned up the crash site. Of all the places in the universe to wind up, this is an idyllic spot. With that said, I'm surprised that Nomai Tech was already here before I showed up. Well, maybe not. Our clans are everywhere. I was worried that someone might show up and start asking questions, but it would seem that no one's around this particular star. Upon further inspection, there seems to be a derelict vessel in the distance. Did something happen to this particular clan? Surely we would have heard about something like that. It's not every day a clan chooses to abandon a vessel. Well, perhaps I might relate to that last bit. Anyways, I've covered my tracks to the best of my ability. For now I'll rest, and in the morning my project begins. Right, so NG here has left their original clan, and then was talking about going back to them to be like, look at all this cool stuff I did. So maybe they're trying to prove themselves in some way. Oh, here we go. NG's presentation. Systems on rails. For a long time, Nomai clans have been using vessels to explore the universe. Every 10 years, festivals happen where everyone gathers to share knowledge to learn a whole bunch of different things. But there hasn't been a lot of transportation innovation since we all use warp cores to move around. Our vessel is nice and comfy, but I like it when I get to explore the planets we visit. I get bored of seeing the same white and silver colors and not the weird and wacky organic stuff. So here's my idea. Make a space train. It has all the stuff the vessel has, but we get to have home planets in tow. And we could pick up more planets, or swap them out. Anything really. It would be efficient. So, what do you guys think? Cool idea, right? Guys? And yeah, you can see too that since the writing's messier, this was like when NG was a kid or something. Compared to their, nice proper adult text. Right, so NG had this wacky space train idea, possibly got laughed out of their vessel, and was like, I'm gonna go do it myself, I'll show you. And, well, it seems they succeeded. If not for the fact that this place is abandoned and they are not here. Is that the like sort of whining sound, not the gravity crystal sound? Okay, I did not think that through. Kind of sounds like a distress beacon. I wonder if we're gonna be able to do something to neutralize the ghost matter, or I just have to find another way to get around. Next loop, I'm bringing my ship with me. Why is there water on my face? I wonder if that's a bug. Okay, it's not ideal that my fuel level is critical. There we go. Did that accomplish anything? There definitely looks like there's a... Why? My controller's not working anymore for no reason. Okay, mouse and keyboard it is. Yes, there's a distress beacon down there, but I don't know how I get there. I would like to read all that. And there's ghost matter in this cave over here as well. Oh yeah, that sun is looking a little bright. I should have brought the ship. I should have brought the ship. This platform is like covered in warp cores. But none of them actually has... Oh, there we go. This one actually has a black hole in it. Is there maybe a white hole one that I might need? No. Okay. I like that actually. I've played a few mods and so far none of them have actually integrated the central vessel into the mod itself outside of being like just the starting point. This feels like a wonky landing, and it is. Okay, I can't even get out. That's funny. My problem is I never use landing mode. Okay, wow, it is moving me so slowly. I'm trying with all my might to move laterally. Okay, so... what did that achieve? Does this work? Probably needs to be aligned. Okay, so that did nothing. Does it help me that I'm able to fly to the top of these now? Not really, because they're all blocked off. Alright, is there anything in the water? So does this water lead anywhere else? No. So that doesn't help me. Yeah, there's like a pool of water in there, which I wonder, like, does that connect to this river in any way? Is there like a secret passageway hidden? I couldn't figure out where this linked up to, which was maybe a skill issue, so now I'm gonna cut like 10 minutes of me wandering aimlessly and instead just go to Frostcar. This should explain why going forward I sound thoroughly dead inside. What happens if I go down into here? Do I get stuck forever? Ow. Okay. I gotta go to the left. I gotta go to the right. Go over here. Okay, cool. Oh, hey. That's kind of fun that this is literally just the Interloper 2. I've gathered enough ghost matter crystals here on Frostcar. I've also managed to finally get my hands on one of the larger crystals from the core. The smaller crystals are being refined on locomotion and will be used as the main source of power for the train. Honestly, everyone saying that ghost matter can be an extremely volatile substance hasn't really seemed to consider the industrial applications of the stuff. The larger crystal is also being taken to locomotion, but it will instead be used for a new advanced warp core I have been designing to surpass our current warp technology. As I don't want to jeopardize my success by falling to my death, I've decided to block off entry to the core. I won't be needing to go back down, but I will eventually need to come back here for the smaller crystals. Entropy and all that it entails, you know how it is. Update: the large crystal I've chosen isn't potent enough, so I've returned for another. For future reference, the first turn after entering the ice tunnels leads directly to the core. Come to think of it, the tunnels blocked by ghost matter seem to be the most direct route to it. Okay, but that'll kill me. I find it strange that we have been using the same old tech for thousands of years. It's as old as the tales of Escal's clan. I wonder what Anona would make of my design. Sure, do I, like, gain a resilience to ghost matter at some point, and that's how I get past all these things? Okay, yeah, there's an advanced warp core inside locomotion. The interior of the planet is hollow, and I get in through a warp pad. Could I have brought the black hole core here instead? And even then, would this would this pad even work, or will it be like the other pad where it doesn't do anything? So I'm just gonna meditate, and I guess try to bring the black hole warp core in there instead. That was the wrong call, of course. This is clearly a warp pad receiver, something that I even said myself earlier, so I have no idea why I wasted my time doing any of this. Okay, here we are. Does this do anything? Warp core does not fit. Oh, well. Cool. That was pointless. The warp pad is missing a white hole warp core. It sure is. After that diversion, I tried to figure out the Spruce Caboose Tower again. Oh. Okay. Nice. So it's the part that was messing with me was that you can't shoot straight down by yourself. So like you can't aim all the way to your feet. So I had to aim with the ship. Cool. Well, isn't this something I wish I had known earlier? I was just mining this pillar for resources to build the train when I discovered that there was an aquifer right above me. And of course, shortly thereafter, the entire upper portion of the pillar broke. I was unharmed, but a little shaken being pushed around by the ensuing flood. After coming to my senses, I realized I was standing in a patch of ghost matter. But I wasn't writhing in burning agony? Not too long after being bewildered by this, it very much started to burn, as most come to expect. But why did it take so long to start hurting me? It seems I have accidentally discovered a means to achieve temporary immunity to the effects of ghost matter by being completely drenched with water. I can freely touch it without worry. Frankly, I'm still going to be anxious, standing in a cloud of ghost matter, considering all that's between me and certain death is soggy garments. Further testing shows that I have about 1 minute after climbing out of water to use my newfound invincibility before I dry off. Update. I have reminded myself the hard way that water vaporizes quickly in the vacuum of space. Ouch. Right, I had wondered why, frankly, I thought it was a bug. Having the water still on my HUD. So sure, you're saying I can just... Yeah. That's cool. Do I want this projection stone? I've already seen what's inside locomotion. Editing this footage and watching my past self be dumb is as painful for me as it probably is for you. I completely neglect to read the text on this projection stone until way later, and I end up wasting like literally an hour because of it. So that just means that I need to get a white hole warp core to put in Frostcar. Reverse beacon one-way frequency. I need to find a white hole warp core to put in Frostcar, and then presumably the warp pad here takes me there, which I will do while soaked in water, and then I will be able to go through the passageway blocked by ghost matter. Unless Frostcar is considered as being in a vacuum, in which case nothing would ever work. I'm realizing I'm on a timer right now because I need to leave here. One-way signal blocker. Notice, your Nomai distro is outdated. Certain functions may be unavailable, such as the remote access of coordinates. Approximate transmission coordinates may still be retrieved on-site at the coordinate relay. Error. Scheduled automatic cessation of one-way signal blocker following user inputted time of 3 weeks has failed. Please contact your system administrator. So I take it that's how NG doesn't want to be found by the rest of his clan. So I guess he has a signal blocker up. Let's see what this scroll says. I finally have the opportunity to be on my own. I've been planning to do this for a while now. I just needed to wait for the right conditions. Ever since my younger days, when no one appreciated my dreams of space trains being the next big thing for Nomai kind, I've been planning to get away from my clan to build it all myself. I knew it could be done. I simply needed planets that were small enough, with at least one of them containing ghost matter for use as an energy source. And this one says, every time I ever brought up the fact that I like trains, the others would groan like they'd heard it 1,000 times before. I suppose they have. From me. But no one wanted to assist me, or at the very least supervise me. They'd come up with excuses like, it'd be dangerous to experiment with ghost matter, or what about preserving the planets for potential future species? There's no way we've made so many technical advancements without incurring some amount of risk. After identifying this particular system for meeting my specifications, I quietly hijacked one of the escape pods from my vessel and managed to leave undetected. To prevent my clan from finding and stopping me before I finish construction, I've set up this one-way signal blocker. It will make it harder for them to track me down, and it'll still let me get back to them once I finish the train's warp functionality. But it won't stop them from looking for me. I've covered my tracks as best I could and cleared the crash site. 2 uninterrupted weeks is all I ask. Please let this buy me enough time. I wonder, can I remove the white hole warp core from the train? How do I even land on this? Nope. Okay. Okay, here we go. So on the one-way frequency, we of course have the beacon on Spruce Caboose, but there seems to be another source. There we go. Okay. Yeah, where's this even taking me to? Okay, it's just statically positioned right above the sun. Okay. Were you cloaked? Sure. Now, if you're asking me to, like, you're asking me to go to Dark Bramble and and punch those in, I don't know about all that. Maybe these are just coordinates that I would punch into the train at the end. And now I'm cutting another 10 minutes of me being incredibly confused, and then in my confusion I decided to go all the way back to the main solar system and grab a white hole warp core to see if that could be used to sort of cheat and bypass the mod's puzzle entirely. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work. Then I just wandered the mod aimlessly for a while until I gave up and asked someone what I was missing, which just ended up being that I forgot to ever read the text on that projection stone I found earlier. An update on the current situation. I just lost a warp core. I'm in the process of sealing off Locomotion's refinery, and I brought one of the white hole cores by leaping to the planet. I hit a patch of land on an ocean planet. Not quite the splash I was hoping to make, haha, I'm in pain. Now, I didn't break anything, I think, but I lost grip of the core, and I'm not about to go back to swimming with the fishies to find it, nor can I spare the time to. I'll grab another to use instead. If I had to guess where it was, based on the ocean current, probably the South Pole, but I'm not about to go digging in the sand because A, I hate sand, B, I hate the fish, and C, I don't have time for that. I'm fortunate enough that I didn't end up losing the black hole warp core instead. What a pain that would be. Update, it would seem that the universe has it out for me. Me and my big mouth. Wait, I'm not talking, I'm writing. Me and my big hands? No, that sounds dumb. Okay, I swear I'd already checked out that projection stone. I guess I only used it in the projection pool, I didn't read it. So, that's really annoying. Okay, so we just pushed a New Horizons update that kind of breaks sand. Where now, I believe if I so much as touch the sand, I go blind. I was already here too, because I was like, oh, they put things at the poles. Maybe there's something at the poles. I'm gonna get so jump scared by an anglerfish running into me any second now. You're kidding me. Okay. Okay, where did I put the black hole core? I think I just dropped it on the ground on Spruce Caboose. Can you... Okay, so I'm soaked with water. I'm about to warp myself to Frostcar? Yes, and I'm still covered in water. And it said to just go straight left here. But then what? I don't see water on my screen anymore. Okay, and I'm like actually on a timer now. So, okay, sure. I go through the ghost matter. And then left here, we go right here. Go right again, we go left. Okay. Thank you. Okay, very nice. Tell me how to go on Locomotion, please. I may have made it slightly convoluted for myself getting back to Frostcar's core, but at least I have a quick way to deal with ghost matter. Speaking of which, now that the train is up and running, I've made a much needed change to put the minds of the others at ease when I write it back to show it off. Even after going through the refinement process at Locomotion, the fuel made with ghost matter still leaves trace amounts of the more hazardous bits lingering in the air. Turns out the stuff even lasts in the vacuum of space. It's coming right out of the train's whistle. To prevent the train from pumping ghost matter fumes out everywhere, I've set the train to blow its whistle every 2 minutes. The whistle is already continuously pumping out steam to counter the ghost matter fumes, but keeping it contained by spending a little extra water every now and then to make it completely dissipate is worth it. Okay, that does not tell me how to get to the core of Locomotion, but instead it's saying I can go through the smokestack of the train when it blows the whistle? Okay, it's literally blowing the whistle. Okay, you know what? It stopped blowing the whistle. This is my bad. I deserve this. So will I just see the hazard label disappear as the whistle blows? Yes, I will. Cool. If only I had the advanced warp core from the interior of whatever you call it, locomotion. The train is nearly complete. All I have left to finish is the warp functionality. I have packed away the equipment I use to make the fuel at Locomotion's refinery, as I need the space for working on a new type of advanced warp core. This improved version will be using ghost matter as opposed to singularities. Hypothetically, this new design will allow for significant jumps through space while also being able to keep the planets in tow. Not only that, the amount of time it takes to recharge after each jump is 10 times faster than our current warp tech. My 2-week deadline is fast approaching. The one-way signal blocker on Spruce Caboose has bought me enough time to get everything done without interference from my clan. Time to get back to work. Update. I'm still on schedule for finishing the new advanced warp core, but there's just one catch, to put it bluntly. The warp pad I've been using to get into Locomotion's refinery fell into the water after the island it was built upon collapsed. Now, unlike that warp core I lost and substituted, I actually need this one to get inside. I don't have time to dig my way back in and risk destroying my work. So I got a little remote drone and went searching for the core when I noticed something strange about one of the anglerfish. Its lure was completely dark. All of a sudden, the remote drone ended up inside the refinery. The anglerfish must have mistaken the warp core for food. When I went to go retrieve the remote drone, I couldn't seem to find the right anglerfish. On further inspection, it would seem that the darkened lure isn't visible, even to the third eye. I can only see it with the remote drone's camera. Despite that minor setback, and the fact that the entrance to Locomotion's refinery is now absolutely disgusting, I should still have enough time to finish everything before my clan finds me. And somehow an anglerfish is a perfect conduit for warp pads. I don't know what to make of this information. Yeah, me neither. Okay, so there's an anglerfish where when viewed through my scout's camera, its lure will be darkened, and I need to let it eat me. And then I'll get into the core. I've prepared the socket for the new advanced warp core here in the engine room. Once it's finished, I'll be able to take the train on its inaugural warp back to my clan. After placing the advanced warp core, the coordinate interface will rise up from the floor. All I need to do is enter the correct coordinates from the coordinate relay, and we're off. Okay, so I know the correct coordinates. I just need to go get eaten by an anglerfish. I like the anglerfish. I like when you'll have like one single element, right? So there's the anglerfish, but they sort of contribute to two puzzles. So first they're there to dissuade you from just wandering around, to make the South Pole puzzle a bit more interesting. And now there's also this dark lure puzzle. And there he is. And there we go. Okay, I have projection stones. Do these do anything for me, or is this just sort of the putting it all together sort of stage? Oh, and yeah. Yeah. NG is dead. Rest in peace, my friend. ... My 2 weeks were almost up. In a rash attempt to get the new advanced warp core done as quickly as possible, I took minimal precautions. I know I'm supposed to follow safety procedures. I know how to properly handle ghost matter. I even learned how to become temporarily immune to it. But what good does that information do for me when my arm's pinned down? An explosion occurred while trying to channel the power into the core. I'm unable to pull it out on my own. My clan will have to find me. I was never against the idea of cooperation. I just needed some time alone. The signal blocker should stop in a few days, like I've prompted it to. Good thing I had the foresight to set that up for emergencies like this. Just have to wait. I can last a little while. The pain will make it feel like eternity, though. Perhaps I can twiddle my non-pinned limbs to pass the time, or at the very least take my mind off it. It's been a couple of days. Arm still hurts. Still can't get it unstuck, but I'm being proactive regardless. I've used my remote drone to retrieve equipment and supplies. It can't carry much since its main use is for scouting, but I have nothing but time to spare. Surely the signal blocker has stopped by now. It has to have been at least a week now. They must have heard the signal by now, they must have. I can't gather any more supplies. My remote drone got chewed on by an anglerfish. If only I was able to catch one to chew on in revenge. Would it be disgusting? Most definitely. Wouldn't even be able to roast it. But it is starting to become more appealing by the second, and their constant groans are only making things worse. I do not know how long it has been. I can't see the sun, and I have no means with which to gauge the time. What I do know is this: my clan isn't coming for me. The supplies I accrued are dwindling, even after rationing them. The salt water I've been using to keep the ghost matter at bay with is beginning to run out. At this rate, I'll have to start using my drinking water instead. I'm not sure whether the ghost matter will kill me first by dehydrating me, or ironically, by quenching my thirst. I have begun considering removing my arm. I do not have proper medical equipment. I only have what I use to mine for resources on Spruce Caboose. I can't exactly chisel myself out without injury. I cannot ascertain whether it would be better to wither away in here or suffer complications from the amputation. Neither sound like promising options. The decision has been made. I can't bring myself to do it. I just want it to be useful. I just wanted to make a significant contribution. I just wanted to build a train. Perhaps everyone knew all along and I simply refused to see. Maybe trying to put a system on rails was an idea doomed from the start. Hypothesis confirmed. Well, that's dark as that's dark as hell, man. Obviously figured he'd be dead, given that the system's still here and all that, but... Well, let's see if we can't take that train for a spin there, Engie. Oh god, I'm still on the anglerfish planet. Oh, my ship was there. Do I care that my ship was there? No, not particularly. It's a very nice bit of polish that they're playing the final end times music. I will say this mod is like, I got very frustrated. I got very frustrated. I guess because yeah, there were the two times where I really couldn't find what I was meant to do next, and yeah, the fact that I didn't read that one projection stone was a huge skill issue. And then yeah, the one with the water in the hollow pillar was a bit unfortunate. That one was kind of like, it's just you can't aim straight down, so I was like wandering around blindly until I decided to use my ship. But aside from those issues, it's like very nicely polished. I really liked the puzzle design. It did some interesting stuff, especially with the anglerfish. That was quite fun. The immunity to ghost matter as well was quite fun. Okay, we're in. Insert the core. And thankfully they have the nice bit of polish that it shows the coordinates that I must enter. Somewhere, somehow, a Nomai clan witnesses something once deemed impossible. If only there weren't a time loop. I like that. I like that bit of acknowledgement. That's always a thing in a lot of story mods, where they just go, oh, you saved the day, or you solved the big problem. And then it's like, yeah, but, you know, the loop's just gonna reset. It never happened. So that was On a Rail. It's a real shame that I struggled so much with this one. I really just had a few skill issue moments that soured what is otherwise a spectacularly put together mod. This mod was also apparently much less polished when the jam actually ended, which I imagine explains why it didn't rank higher, because it's quite good. So kudos to the mod creator, Can't Afford a Name, for taking the time to update the mod post-jam. It's always great when people do that, even if doing so doesn't make them more likely to win. So that was very cool. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Okay, bye.